Today we're out here at the Hydro Hubba, just at university and college. To my left here, we actually are just outside of UFT, so stay tuned for that. We're also going to do a 4-part series on UFT, but today we're going to be looking into this hubba, which is a 12-stair hubba, as well as this handrail, which has also been skated. We're also going to take a look at a couple gaps, a couple other handrails. We got a 9-stair handrail, a 6-stair handrail, and a metal sign ledge at the dentist office. We're also going to look at a 17-stair hubba that no one has actually skated except for one person I could think of, and then we're going to end it off at the weapon hubba. Stay tuned and let's get into it. Big spot like the mid to late 90s and the early 2000s. What's crazy though is that what I could think of, I found an article of this entire roof above us actually caved the fuck in. Like this whole thing was on the ground back in 2012. I don't know if that was due to like water damage. I couldn't find anything about it in the actual article itself. Thankfully, nobody was actually hurt. This whole roof caved down, which is actually the run up. If you come over here, we got a 3-stair. And I don't want to get into some of the lines right out of the gates, because there are 2 lines that I could think of that were done. I do want to start off with Alex Rothbauer though, who was the first that I know of to spark off this hubba here. He did frontside 50-50 on it. Unfortunately, we don't have a clip, but it's definitely important to shout out the first person who actually sparked this thing off. This might not be the most accurate measurements. I don't have a measuring tape and neither did Ryan, but we do have our phones, our iPhones, which we actually were able to measure the height and the length and the drop off of the hubba. Here we have 88 centimeters in height, which is just under a meter. And then it goes down about 3.77 meters in length. Obviously you're gonna be gapping out, so you're not doing that entirety of it. And then the drop off is 1.1 meters as well. Dude, what the hell? Just standing at the bottom of this thing is actually gnarly. The handrails didn't used to be here, although this middle handrail did. Colt Cannon, he did a frontside lip slide on it. Ariel Stagney also did a frontside lip slide. We have a photo of that. Ariel was telling me that they didn't actually film a lot of clips back in those days, but they would always be out shooting photos, which is just wild. I mean, you're gonna come to a 12-stair handrail and not film it, but those were the times. There's not that much run up because of that 3-stair that starts off at the beginning. I do know that this didn't always used to be interlocking ground as well. It used to be better ground, and that could actually be a reason why people stopped skating it the way they did, because the ground obviously got a lot worse, which would make these cracks in the ground get a lot worse. Not to say that this can't be resurrected. You can definitely still hit some grinds on this ledge, wax it up. I would love to see some people from Toronto try and bring this thing back to life, because it's definitely one of the most iconic hubbas. I know a lot of you guys have been asking for this spot for a while now.
We actually featured this movie in the TD video as well that we covered. This spot was actually featured in Police Academy 4 in 1987. There was a lot of downtown Toronto skating in it. There was actually like a scene in the movie where the skaters that are featured in that film skating the steps here, they're doing like 50-50s and stuff. One cool thing specifically about that is it was actually the Bones Brigade team. So Tommy Guerrero, Tony Hawk, Mike McGill, Steve Caballero, Lance Mountain. And then also there's another scene in that movie as well where they're skating off of these like kickers. That was in the back of this building as well. So in an older BSE skate shop video, issue 2, Adam Margison 50-50'd this. Shout out Dan Bohart, because this line is insane. This guy did 50-50 on this in a line, okay? Grides off onto the bike path. At the time, I don't know if it was a bike path, but it might have just been the road. Ollies up this curb and then front boards this handrail right here. 8-stair handrail. This never used to have a kink. Obviously, these knobs weren't here. That's crazy, especially because this spot specifically is like so much foot traffic, so much car traffic. He also did another 50-50, but this time there was caution tape like at the bottom of the hubba, and he 50s like over the caution tape. He also did 5-0 in Digital 3. And then to mirror the front 5-0, he did back 5-0 on this one, and that was in a SBC, and there was no filmer. He was also in the Streets Toronto video. He's just like goofy and funny, and you can really see his personality.
Seriously, if you're gonna come to our town and you wanna hang, that's fine. Just don't bring no stink, no attitude, and don't be blowing smoke, you know what I'm saying? We're here for a good time, and that's why we're still here, and we're doing it, all right? You wanna come? You wanna shoot your mouth off? You're gonna pay. No, I'm just kidding.
He was also in Harold and Kumar. He is the extreme dude.
On a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being not so extreme and 10 being extremely extreme, I give this a 9.5! Check it out, Extreme Cheddar!
This spot, this is way before my time, even before Behan's time. So I honestly didn't have much knowledge on this. So shout out to the people who actually contribute to the videos, who let us know who skated the things, who's helped us and done research, put the time and the work in. So shout out to you guys, really appreciate it. You guys help make these videos happen.
So like I was saying at the beginning of the video, there is this 3 stair that leads into the Hubba, and there's a couple guys that did lines, some pretty notable names. You got Rick McCrank in Gailea Wright. He did tray flip on the 3 stair here, and then does a frontside tail slide. There's not that much room between the 3 to the 12, maybe 15 to 20 feet tops. I grew up on Yeah Right. I never took in how insane that line was until obviously much later in my life when I started understanding spots, but that's still crazy to this day. And then in the credits of America, this is skateboarding. Heath Kirchart, he does kickflip down the 3, and then 180 nose grinds the Hubba. I guess it never made it into a part. A couple 180 nose grinds did go down on the Hubba, and I guess he was over it, I'm not sure. Wade Fife, he did frontside 180 nose grind on this Hubba as well. And then another 180 nose grind, Ryan Smith. I gotta give this spot in its entirety. I think he's the one who shut this thing down the most. Stay tuned for the rest of his tricks. They are insane. If you made it this far in the video, by the way, hit the like button and subscribe for more. We're gonna get into more Ryan Smith in just a minute. We also got Chris Cole. He did 5-0 front 180 on this. There was a photo for it, and there's also a video of it as well. He had quite a little bit of Toronto footage back in those days. I remember hearing that he did no slide big spin on the other Hubba as well. Haven't been able to find the clip for that one. Comment down below if there's anything that we missed. This was before our time, so there might be a couple things that we missed in this particular video especially, but I'm down to have a conversation about it because a lot of the things, like remember we were talking about Ariel Stagney, how he was coming with no filmer but doing front lip on the rail. I know there's gotta be more things that happened kind of like that back in the day. So please leave a comment down below if there's like tricks that you know that went down on the spot that aren't mentioned in this video.
Gailea Momolu was pro for Darkstar at one point. He actually skated this in the RDS video, and he did switch frontside tail slide in 2002. That's insane, man. Like, this is not small by any means. Like, no matter where you pop on, like, this thing is tall as fuck, dude. Like, look at this. Literally waist height, like a little bit taller. That also brings us to another crazy trick, nollie no slide. And that was by Mike Hasty in the same video. I honestly think he's the only one that skated this thing nollie, so shout out Mike Hasty, that's fucked.
Back to Ryan Smith. We mentioned his 180 nose grind already, but I wanted to give him kind of the ender on the Hubbas at this spot. We still got more spots to cover. Don't think that this is it. We're starting strong, but we're gonna end strong as well. It's in the RDS FSU part. That video was like a big deal back in the day. 2002, the level that people were skating at in that video as well, especially a lot of them being from Canada. Ryan Smith's nose blunt on this thing. It's his ender in FSU. I never quite understood why, but at the same time, because of a story that I've heard, I could kind of get it. He also in that same part does frontside flip nose grind. Frontside flip fucking nose grind, bro, like what? So here's the thing with that. I heard it was an accident when he was trying kickflip no slide. That's just what I heard through the grapevine. He also did do the kickflip no slide as well. But he does a frontside flip nose grind, it locks in perfect, and he rides away like he was actually trying it. So if it was me, I'm just saying, I would have used that as my ender over the nose blunt. You know, I should have mentioned that he also did a frontside 5-0 on this Hubba too. Let's go over here real quick. I want to take you on a little tour of the spot. There's just one trick that I want to mention. Jeff Mikett, I think that's how you say his name, at least I hope. Just down the way here from the Hubba, there's this really tall drop right here that you could see. In Streets Toronto, I found a clip of him doing a nollie on it. Like, this thing is a lot taller than me, that's for sure. Technically, it's not really a gap because I think where he nollied from would just be the drop itself, but I'm about 5'9", 5'10" on a good day. Just a nollie off a straight drop, that's hesh. I like that shit. I used to skate drops back in the day, the good old days. So we're just gonna make a quick little pit stop at a few handrails here while we make our way to that dental sign ledge. This being the first handrail right here, it's 8-stair rail. Jesse Landon, he did board slide on this rail. And the only reference I have of this one is just that Hubba that's in the background over there. It's like a double king Hubba. You can't skate it, but I just remember that being in the clip. There's another handrail that lands into a set of stairs, and it's a 9-stair handrail. Jesse Landon also board slid this one when he was 14 years old. Shout out to Jesse Landon, by the way, for setting the drop box of some of this old classic footage that's no longer online. It's just funny because he board slides it and kind of immediately steps off and almost kind of sacks himself on that second handrail as he's jumping out of it. Unfortunately, we can't find it now. If you know where this clip is in a 411 is where I heard it would be. Around 98, 1999 is when it happened. Gianni Zattoni from Italy, he nollie 5-0'd this rail. And I just know the stories of it. I've never actually seen the clip. But if anybody knows where that clip is from around 1998, 1999, please send us a DM or something on Instagram because I'd like to see it.
This is the university area. It's actually called the Discovery District. As you can see, this is a subway station. And it's literally right outside of Hydro Hubba and OPG Center. Literally right outside of Queen's Park. Spot is kind of a bust. Just play your cards right and you might be able to get a clip. We're currently walking east on College. There's a handrail over here. Only thing that I can really think of is Matthew Ballantyne. This is apparently his first rail, street rail that he's ever done. And Jesse Landon also front 50'd this. This is my absolute favorite clip at this entire area, just because Warren Ungen is one of my favorite skaters from Toronto. He actually skated this sign up here in Urie-Buxton. And then it was filmed from down there. And obviously, if you look down, death drop. And then there's a flat ledge up there. Not too many people have skated it. We're not gonna go up there right now because we might get kicked out. Matthew Ballantyne skated it.
So if you look in the background right now, that's what we call the weapon hubba. Only 2 people I know have skated it. We're gonna talk about that soon. Let's go check out another spot. We'll get back to that one later. I appreciate you guys for watching this far in the video. Let's go make our way over to a 17 stair hubba right now. Talk about Joe Yates and Jesse Landon. Let's actually just go quickly look at this really tall flat bar that's on the side of the road here. I feel like it's really hard to skate mainly because of like all the parking that happens here, especially on the weekdays. The 17 stair is literally just down the road. This is our 3rd last spot of the day. This thing's tall. I can think of Zach Ferguson, who did a pretty sick line. No push line as well. He did a tray flip on flat and then a crook yank over. Was that the bike?
I think so.
Let's do it again. Well, there goes that. All right, I guess we can't touch the flat bar. Maybe not a lot has gone down yet, but it's still here, it's open. As long as there's a car not there or a bike that thinks it's getting stolen, then it's up for grabs. Go skate that shit. Now let's go check out the 17 stair hubba, and then we'll head our way back up to the weapon hubba. Here it is right here. It could actually be the same rail in the clip, because this is actually not a kinked rail. Jesse Landon was just trying to 50-50 the rail. Let's go to the top. He tried to 50-50 it, and he made it to about like, I want to say like around here, and then he kind of steps off and eats shit. I think he's the only one who's actually made an attempt on the rail itself, but there is one successful clip on it. Joe Yates, he did nose manny on this and then rides into the hubba. Has to avoid this giant fenced off thing, blocking off all like the electrical and whatever. Has to avoid the rail clipping his toes. Straight down, high octane, man. Joe Yates, fucking killer. That shit was crazy. And it was filmed at night, it was filmed fisheye. I feel like it didn't really show like the spot's full potential, especially like being at night and fisheye and filmed on a light. You don't see the spot of what it looked like if it was filmed long lens down at the bottom, but to do it at night is actually way gnarlier than doing it in the day. So shout out to him, that was fucking crazy. But yeah, that's the only things I could think of at this spot here. And if you know of anything that's gone down at any of the spots we're talking about the whole video, comment down below. We're down to have a conversation. We do reply to every single comment. Let us know. Let's go back to that weapon hubba.
It's actually not a part of OPG, but it is literally right next to it. How else are we gonna cover this spot any other time? Because only a few tricks have been done on it. The Stewart hubba, Stewart building hubba, or the weapon hubba, if you wanna call it that. The reason it's called weapon hubba is because somebody by the nickname of Weapon, AKA Thad Lenover, skated this in the early 2000s. I'm not gonna mention this trick first, but I will mention Ryan Smith. He did backside nose slide on this. He was the first one to spark this thing off. Holy shit, dude, this thing is tall. And it's so skinny too. Like if you were to put your board here, your board is just fitting on top. So even a roll in would be crazy on this. And I think someone has done that. Let's see. So that's 1.06 meters from top to bottom. And then let's measure the length as well. That's 4.19 meters. Again, as Behan mentioned before, we're using iPhone. I really hope that this is accurate because it's pretty crazy to measure and just kind of represent how actually how big it is scale-wise. And then we'll do the drop-off as well. 1.35 meters, so it's a little bit bigger than the top here. Yeah, that just puts this into perspective, man. Like, this thing is massive. Weapon. This guy front 50'd this. If you guys made it this far, thank you so much for watching. Subscribe, comment, like.
We are just across the street actually from UFT. Now we're not gonna do UFT in the next video, but stay tuned, subscribe to the channel because we are gonna cover UFT in a future series. Thank you so much for 4,000 subscribers as well. When we first started doing these videos, we were at 720 and I made it a goal to try and make it to 5K by the end of the year. And here we are now at 4,000, so thank you so much. And also, if you haven't subscribed to Urie-Buxton's channel as well, we'll leave a link right over here. Or maybe it's right over here. And with that said, we'll see you in the next video. Peace.